this movie proves why I love the theater. The sound work in this movie was great. The suspense in this movie was great. And the first 45 minutes of this movie is fucking on point. And I wish it would have stuck to that. But it doesn't, sadly. And I'm going to tell you why. So I'm going to give slight spoilers at the end of the review. So I will put out a warning before I get into that. But I won't spoil anything before that. So once I mention spoilers, though, clock out. The movie starts off really well. Basically, you see the rock falling from space. It looks like an asteroid. No one knows what it is. And they kind of explain to you what happened, because the first movie doesn't explain to you where the creatures come from. This one starts off explaining, hey, these things probably came from space. There's an asteroid. It hits the ground. They come out. You know, they don't need to spoon feed you and be like, do you understand? Okay, here's a little more food for you. Now do you get what the asteroid falls out of the sky and they're in a rock or some type of device and they get out. But do you know that's where they come from? Or do we need to explain more, like the people were complaining about it in the reviews saying, oh, well, I just saw a rock from the sky fall and I still don't know where they come from. Who fucking cares? I don't need to know what sex they are, or if they eat grass, or if they eat fucking fruit. I don't care. They're a flesh-eating monster that are blind and they're receptive to sound. Emily Blunt, again, I'm reviewing another Emily Blunt movie. I like her, okay? I fucking love Emily Blunt. She's driving her car and the bus is heading towards her car and they show her reversing, and this is all sound work. There's no score playing at all. And this movie just really showed how good sound work can work and build tension to a scene without music, because music really helps with movies. It can build a scene, it can make a scene, and it can break a scene, but sometimes you don't need music. This movie is the crown king why sound can work over music. So then it tapers off and goes into present time. Emily Blunt's leaving. They're headed towards a house and her son steps on a bear trap. His acting was so good in that, I felt like my foot hurt. They made the bear trap part so gnarly, and the sound and the acting in it was so good. You felt like you were in pain with him. But then this is where the movie gets a little off track, and from there the rest of the movie is like pretty spoiler heavy, and that's mainly the stuff I want to talk about because those are my big complaints. But this movie I'm gonna recommend watching, but the first half is very, very solid, then the second half sucks ass, and I'm gonna tell you why, because we're about to get into spoilers in 3. Okay, so I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. Emily Blunt meets up with her old neighbor that I mentioned previously that they saw at the baseball game. They meet there. He doesn't know it's them. She doesn't know it's him. And then they finally figure it out. You know, he takes his mask off. He's like, oh my God, you have a baby. And she's like, help us. And then the daughter, for some reason, wants to go on the suicide mission where she's like, my dad's smarter than your fucking dad. You don't know anything about my father. She decides she wants to go on a suicide mission, right? And she takes off. I don't understand. Emily Blunt is very sensitive with her kids, and she's all about where they're at. And so is he. It's his place. But then somehow she's able to sneak out of the base that they're in with supplies, unnoticed. Emily Blunt figures this out and then goes up to, you know, her old neighbor. I'll say her old neighbor. And she's like, my daughter took off. You need to go find her. He's like, I can't do that. And she's like, yeah, please, you have to. And then she starts writing him about it. Like, this guy's your old neighbor. It's not like he's your fucking husband or brother. You're neighbors. You had a couple, hi, how are you? How's your weekend? Great. I'll see you at the baseball game Saturday. A few interactions. And she's like, you're going to go get my fucking daughter. You're going to go find her. You're going to risk your life up there to go find my daughter because it's the right thing to do. I know we only waved at each other a few times and we had very few interactions, but you're gonna go fucking save my kid because I fucking said so.
You serious?
That's the energy I got off it. That's your fucking stupid kid that took off. I'm not going to go risk my life for your dumb fucking kid. Yeah, it's probably morally the right thing to do, but she was the stupid one that wanted to go off on her own. So let her figure it the fuck out, because she obviously knows what she's doing. Now I'm going to mention 2 other things. I don't want to spoil everything, but I'm going to spoil the bigger parts that bothered me personally. So later on, they have like 2 stories going on at once. And when the 2 stories are going on, it fits really good. The flow and the pacing of it was great. But the problem is one of the situations worked really well. It was Emily Blunt trying to get oxygen for the baby. And I do like how they made the son in this movie kind of stupid. Like, he was still a kid. He didn't pick up common sense things. He locked himself in this bomb shelter. The neighbor would have a towel. The towel would stop the lever from locking. Well, when he panicked, he went in there and just shut it without making sure the towel was there. So that was going on while the neighbor was out looking for the daughter. And the neighbor and the daughter, for some reason, ran into cannibals. It was only taking place a few years later. I would understand if centuries went by and there was no food at all, no supplies, nothing. Then people would start eating each other. But you're talking about like 10, 15 years later, maybe even less. I don't remember what the first movie said, how long it had been since the outbreak, but it wasn't long enough for there to be fucking cannibals eating people. I just don't know why that plot point was even there. It had no place. The only thing I can think of is like to hit a runtime, because the movie is fairly short. Skip forward. They end up running into a town off the river because the daughter wants to go find out where the signal's coming from. She hears a song on the radio. They find the city. I don't mind that there's a community out there on an island. That would really happen in real life. What bothered me was one of the creatures gets on the island without being fucking noticed. They weren't prepared at all. So I don't know if I should look at that as realism, that it was a stupid community of people, or if it was a flaw in the writing. I'm a little conflicted with this thought, because there would be stupid communities out there that wouldn't have guns and that wouldn't have security for watching for this shit. There's a lot of people who are against guns. Those are the people that I think would not have watchtowers and security. Okay, so they would die. And in the end, the girl and the neighbor drive to the radio station, because she has this earpiece in the movie, and obviously the government couldn't figure out from the first movie, hey, these things are sensitive to sound and it will open up their shell and then we could shoot the soft spot on them. The government couldn't figure this out, but this little 13-year-old with her earpiece was able to figure this out. That's what I hated about the first movie. Skipping forward, I really think the writers and John were like, hey, I want to bring heroism to kids and inspire them. The ending of this movie was cringeworthy. I was like embarrassed for the writers. So the son and the daughter in the end kill one of the monsters each, and they simultaneously switch back and forth between the two interactions with the boy and the girl. And the girl is like, and she picks up this dull fucking pipe. This thing is about as sharp as a hat, like this. And then the son has a gun at least, and he's walking with the sound and the gun towards the monster, all brave. He's all mad now. He's been a pussy the whole movie, but now he's mad. Now he's got the balls. So the son at least shoots the fucking thing in the soft spot and kills it. I can get down with that because it's a gun. It'd puncture something and blow up. The girl takes this dull ass metal pipe. One swing. I want to say that one more time. She swings at this monster one time, just one, and it died. So cool. So brave of her. So powerful of her to kill a huge ass creature with one swipe of a dull ass metal pipe. I'm going to grade A Quiet Place Part 2 a C. So that was my review of A Quiet Place. If that sounds like something fun to you to watch, check it out. I don't want to dog the movie too hard. It definitely is. It's something that will entertain you. It's very good, especially the first half. Sound work is out of this world. The acting was good. The set design was good. I just had some problems with the script, really. I didn't like the kids stuff, the bravery of the kids all of a sudden. They've been petrifying these things, and all of a sudden they're like, I'm fucking tired of this. It's like, shut the fuck up, man. You're still a pussy. So, besides that, I would recommend watching this movie. It's really not bad. It's worth a watch, and it's definitely worth something to check out if you've seen the first one. It's pretty much on par with the first one. I think they're both about the same. I don't consider one better than the other one. Thanks for tuning in to this review, guys. I got many more coming up. Hit that subscribe button, and I'm going to catch you movie fans on that next review.